President, Mr. Stuart Murray, and the President of Hertfordshire ASA, Mr. Ian Bays, your officials. Ladies and gentlemen, your officials. And your announcer and commentator for this session is Mr. Peter Bays.
Okay, thank you. I think the officials are going to be making their way back to their positions. If you'd like to make your way around to the side of the pool to your positions, please. We do the national anthem on the first session of the day and not on the second one. So, a very good afternoon to everyone. Hope you're having a good time. We've had some great swimming this morning, and we're looking forward to a similar afternoon. Got 2 events to get through. We've got the boys' breaststroke, which is going to be swum in 14 heats, and then we've got 17 heats of the girls' freestyle, so pretty much identical in terms of programming to what we had this morning. We're going to do a test start. So in first place was lane 1, just ahead of lane 5. So we'll see how we get on in the second heat. And we start the session with event 215, the boys 10 years and over 100 metre breaststroke, going to be swum in 14 heats. Heat 1, swimmers in lanes 3, 4 and 5. 4 lengths to the pool for the breaststrokers. In lane 3, we've got Benjamin Taggart. Ben's 11 from Bushy. Got 2 other 11-year-olds with him. William Fawcett in lane 4 from Watford, and another Watford swimmer, Alex Hollis, is in lane 5. And coming up now to the halfway turn. And in the lead, the fastest entrant in this heat at 1:47. So 1:47 entry time, 49 at halfway, 50 seconds the others. Very close. Could be anyone's race here at the moment. We've got 2 lengths to go, and a bit of an acceleration now coming in from Alex Hollis. Up onto William's shoulder, and Ben Taggart's not far behind either. Coming up to the final turn, and a bit of a response in the middle from William Fawcett. And William turns at 1:16. And he's easing away now. Alex Hollis is coming back on him a little bit, but and a very fast finish from Ben Taggart. Ben is finishing fast, but he's coming from a way back. And in the middle of these 3, William Fawcett entered at 1:47 and records 1:42.79. Excellent swim. 1:43.87. Second to touch, Alex Hollis, and 1:44.41 for Ben Taggart. This is heat 2 of the 100 metres breaststroke. Swimmers in lanes 1 to 7. Line up heat 2 is lane 1, Archie Ran, who's 11 years old from Ware. 2 more 11-year-olds in 2 and 3. In lane 2 is Toby Martin, who's from Harpenden, and lane 3, Henry Clark from Watford. Lane 4, Thomas Lydiard, who's 12 years old from Ware. Fastest entrant in the heat at 1:41.65. Lane 5, Igor Mortajar, who's 11 from Cheshunt. Lane 6, Tom Dennis, who's 10 years old. He's the youngest swimmer in this event, actually, only 10-year-old from Harpenden, entered at 1:45.96. Finally, lane 7 is Kobe Cornwell, who's 11 years old from Potters Bar. 46 seconds for the leader at halfway, and 47s. 46 seconds for lane 4, the fastest entrant, Thomas Lydiard. But got 4 other swimmers in a row really behind him at the moment. We'll see how they turn. But pushing on well in lane 1 as well now. Archie Rand's picking up, but in fact 3 of them are turning together behind our leader, Thomas Lydiard. And also picking up now in lane 2 is Toby Martin from Harpenden. He's coming up there. But a big sprint coming in now from lane 5 from Igor Mortajar and Tom Dennis. And they're into the second and third, I think. Good sprint finish for Toby Martin, but first to touch, 1:37.69 for Thomas Lydiard. He entered at 1:41, so great new PB. 1:40s for Igor in second and Tom in third. And this is heat 3 of the 100 metres breaststroke. In lane 1 we have Rockham Brown, who's 12 from Hatfield, and his teammate Andrew Tember is in lane 2, who's also 12. Lane 3, Ethan Howard, 11 years old from Potters Bar. Lane 4 is Theo Lim, who's 12 from Watford. Then 3 Hatfield swimmers. In 5, Joseph O'Hara, who's 12. Lane 6 is Raphael John, who's 11, and lane 7 is Henry Catterfield, who's 12. Finally in lane 8, Ryan Wall, who's 11 years old from Royston. Good first 50 in lane 2 from Andrew Tember from Hatfield, entered at 140. Very close behind him though, he turns at 45.84. Whole row of swimmers on 47s. And we can see now how tight this is. We've got 4 or 5 swimmers all very much in a line coming up to their final turn. Andrew, Ethan, Theo and Joseph all pretty much in a line. Andrew it is who turns first at 1:11 and Joseph behind him. And now pushing on very hard in lane 5. We've got Joseph O'Hara, but Andrew Tember is still right up there as well. And now starting to pick up as well. Theo Lim in lane 4 and Ethan Howard. It's going to be close, but it looks like Andrew Tember is going to get this. And he touches first, 135.93. Good new personal best. 136.64 second to touch was Joseph O'Hara, and 137.1 third to touch in that heat was Theo Lim. This is heat 4 of the 100 meters breaststroke. Oliver Bright's in lane 1. He's from Hatfield, is a 12-year-old. Lane 2 is Nathaniel Mapley, who's 12 from Costa. Lane 3 is Jamie Ismatalev, who's 12 from Watford. And lane 4, William Presslin, who's 13 years old from Bushy. Lane 5, Thomas Godfrey, 12, swimming for St Albans. Lane 6 is Joel Peterson, who's 11 years old from Hatfield. He's the youngest swimmer in this heat. Entered at 136.93, the only 11-year-old. Lane 7 is William Buckley, who's 12 from Watford. And then Stevenage's Marco Borges is in lane 8. Good lead at the moment, a metre and a half for Joel Peterson, entered at 136, 43.2 at halfway. And then look at that, 4, 7 and 2 turning absolutely together. But now moving into comfortable second place in lane 4. William Preston from Bushy, entered at 136, and he's going very well, but he is still not caught. Joel Peterson from Hatfield, and Joel turns now 109, 110 for William Preston. And now picking up very well, Oliver Bright from Hatfield in lane 1, and Oliver Bright is going very strongly in lane 1. But storming through at the moment in lane 6 is Joel Peterson from Hatfield, and at 136.93 he's going to take this very, very close for second and third. He takes the 132.18. Look how close it was behind him. Second to touch there, hanging on, was William Preston from a fast finishing Oliver Bright, both in the 133s. Heat 5 of the 100 meters breaststroke. Lane 1 was Jake Moore, who's 12 from Potters Bar. Then we got a row of 13-year-olds. Lane 2 was Harrison Edgerton from Ware. Lane 3, Rhys Dixon from Verulam. Lane 4, Charlie Stanbury from Potters Bar. And lane 5 is Jake Gould from Bushy. They're all 13. Lane 6 is Alexander Cleverboer, who's 12 from Berkhamsted. Lane 7, another 13-year-old, Elliot Ball from Potters Bar. And lane 8 is the youngest swimmer in this heat, 11-year-old Royston's Edward Ormsby, entered at 136. So look at his time when he finishes, see how he gets on. He's up there at the moment as well, but in the lead. Lane 5, Jake Gord from Bushy, entered at 133. Halfway, he's at 43.31. He's got swimmers on either side of him at the moment though. Got Charlie Stanbury and Alexander Cleverboer, who are right up there with him. And then over on lane 1, out of their sight, Jake Moore. Potters Bar is also going well. All turning together now at 68, 69 seconds on the turn. And we've got Jake Gordon, Alexander Cloverboard. Jake in 5, Alexander in 6. And in lane 4 also right up there as well, Charlie Stanbury, but it looks like it's going to be Alexander Cloverboard is going to get this. Very good last length, 131.70. Takes that heat, 133.13. Second to touch is Jake Gord, and third to touch, 133.72 was Charlie Stanbury. And this is heat 6 of the 100 metres breaststroke. Lane 1, Daniel Harrison, who's 13 from Ware. Lane 2 is Jason Ho, who's 12 from Hatfield. Lane 3, Matthew Martin, 13 from St Albans. And lane 4, Cub Madison, who is 12 from Hatfield. Then we've got the fastest 11-year-old entered in the event, Hatfield's Lucas Hartley in lane 5. He's entered 129.15. Lane 6, Daniel Ord, 13-year-old from Watford. And then 2 more 13-year-olds in lane 7 is Henry Newbury-Kemp from Hemel, and lane 8 is Luca Wilson from Harpenden. Good first 50. 41.61 for Hatfield's Cub Madison at halfway. And his teammate Lucas Harley, and then Daniel Ord are right alongside. Close behind those, I think the leading pack is Daniel Harrison in lane 1 out of their sight, but turning now at 63 seconds. Our lead had a very good third 25 there in lane 4. Cub Madison enters at 128.87 and he's pulling away. His teammate Lucas Hartley is holding on to second, but coming under pressure now from Daniel Ord. Daniel's getting quite close to him, and a very fast finish from Luca Wilson, but winning time 125.13 for Cub Madison. He ends at 128, and 128.59 second was Lucas Hartley, and 129 third to touch Daniel Ord. We have a notice of disqualification, I'm afraid. Event 215, heat 3, lane 6. Event 215, heat 3, lane 6 disqualified for a technical infraction. This is heat 7 of the 100 metres breaststroke. Oh. Heat 7, lane 1 is Royal Shepherd, who's 14 from Harpenden. Lane 2 is Jack Savage, 14 from Potters Bar. Lane 3, Leonardo Malagoli, 13 from Hartford. And lane 4 is Charlie Taverner, who's 13 from Watford. Lane 5, Peter Sikoska, who's 13 from Hatfield. And lane 6 is Alistair Waldegrave, who's 13 from St Albans. Lane 7, Elliot Davis, 14 from Hemel. And lane 8 is Sam Pye-Finch, who's 13 from Tring. Very good first 50. And lane 5, 39.54, going pretty quickly there for Peter Sikoska from Hatfield. Entered at 126. $15 meters to go, still leading the way. Hatfield's Peter Sikoska entered at 126.16, but look at a storming finish from Royal Shepherd in the far side. Coming into second, I think, but Peter's going to get this. Touches first, 124.35, 125.70 second to touch was Royal Shepherd, and then third over on this side of the pool, 127.48, Sam Pye-Finch. Have another disqualification, event 215, heat 5, lane 8, event 215, heat 5, lane 8, disqualified for a technical infraction. Heat 8 of the 100 metres breaststroke. Now Cornwall is in lane 1, 14 from Poddlesbar, and Rax Robertson in 2 is 14 from Hatfield. Lane 3, Eldrick Manella, who's 13 years old from Stevenage. And lane 4 is Patrick Kovar, who's 14 from Watford. Another row of 14-year-olds. Lane 5 is Tyler Taylor's from Cheshunt. Lane 6 is Nathaniel Hopkins, who's from Verulam. 7 is Alvin Chan, who is from Hatfield. Lane 8 is Oliver Carpenter, who's 13 years old from St Albans. So 13-year-olds in 3 and 8, and the rest are 14. Very, very close. Lots turning just on 40 seconds. No one clear at the moment. We've got 5 swimmers in the row. Noah and Max, and then Patrick and Taylor and Alvin across the pool all together. But now just in the lead, turning at 61 seconds. Patrick Kovar, but now coming through strongly is Alvin Chan of Hatfield. And Alvin Chan it is with a great last length. Going very fast, also moving well is Noah Cornwall in lane 1. I think Alvin's going to get this. Coming in, touching first in 1:23.21. Very good swim, 1:23.83. Touching in second, fast finish from Noah Cornwall, 1:23.95. Third to touch, Patrick Kovar. This is heat 9 of the 100 metres breaststroke. Lane 1 is Enzo Lim, who's 13 from Watford, and lane 2 is Arvin Rodriguez, who's 14 from Watford. Lane 3 is William Benson, 15 from Verulam, and 4, Josh Bridgeland, who's 15 from Hatfield. Lane 5, Lewis Clark, 15 from Hemel Hempstead. Lane 6 is Alexander Horn, who's 15 from St Albans. Lane 7 is Thomas Jobson, who is 15 from Bushy, and then a 12-year-old. It's actually the fastest 12-year-old entered in the entire event. St Albans is Daniel Hollis in lane 8, and he's entered at 1:23.33. 37 at the halfway point, getting much faster now, 37.24 for Josh Bridgeland. And then a row of swimmers, 5, 6 and 3 in that order, and 38. Lewis Clark just ahead of Alexander Horn and William Benson. But turning now, final length, 57 seconds. Joshua Bridgeland. Mind whose entry time is 1:21.23. And Josh is looking like he's going to be a long way inside that. Good swim coming up into second place now for Alexander Horn in lane 6. And then inside him in lane 5, Lewis Clark. But look at that winning time, 1:17.99. What a great new PB. Well done to Josh Bridgeland. 1:20.74, second to touch was Alexander Horn. Heat 10 of the 100 metres breaststroke. Keaton Ratch is in lane 1, he's 14 from Watford. Lane 2 is Say Bankole, who's 15 from Hemel Hempstead. 3 more 15-year-olds next to him in lane 3. Harry Arbuthnot from Harpenden. Lane 4 is Ewan Donald from Berkhamsted. Lane 5, Sam Oakley from Poddlesbar. Lane 6, George Williams, 14 from Hertford. And then the fastest 13-year-old entered in the entire event is in lane 7, Jades Gisborne. Bishop Stortford entered at 1:20. And then Zane Back completes the lineup, 15-year-old Cheshunt swimmer in lane 8. 35.91, first to turn was Ewan Donald at halfway, entered at 1:16. And he is pulling away now. And going alongside him, trying to keep with him, George Williams, turning at 56. So it's Ewan in 4, Sam Oakley. And lane 1 we have Lillian Opio, who's 12 years old from Bishop Stortford. Lane 2 is Darcy Hanbury, 12 from Costa. The 3 Hatfield swimmers in lane 3 is Mayor Alexander, who's 12. Lane 4, Emma Jossa, who's 12. And then lane 5, the fastest 11-year-old entered in the event, Chloe Costa, who is 11 from Hatfield, entered at 1:13.46. Lane 6 is Holly Morgan, who's 12 from Hoddesdon. 7 is Chloe Simpson, 12 from Watford. Lane 8 is Alexandra Brandt, who's 12 from Watford. 33.37, so getting quicker in the lead. Lane 6 at the moment is Holly Morgan from Hoddesdon. And turning ahead of lane 3, which is Mayor Alexander from Hatfield. But Holly Morgan's having a great swim. She entered at 1:13.87. If you look at the time, it's going to be a great new PB. 1:09.67. 1:11.5 second for Alexander. She entered at 1:13. 1:13.99. Third touch there, Emma Jossa from Hatfield. This is heat 5 of the 100 meters freestyle. This one in heat 5, we got lane 1 is Megan Morley, who's 12 from Watford. Lane 2, 13-year-old Jessica Coleman from Stevenage. Lane 3, Kirsty Fuge, who's 12 from Hatfield. Lane 4 is Georgia Pritchard, who's 13 from Hatfield. Lane 5 is Hannah Brooke, who's 13 from Harpenden. 6, Grace Crawley, 12 from Hemel. 2 more 12-year-olds. 7 is Charlotte Williams from Cheshunt. Lane 8, Neve O'Meara from Watford. 33.09 for Georgia Pritchard, entered at 1:10, so see how she gets on. The finalists for the boys 100 metres breaststroke for the 10 years, no, for the first for the 10-11 years age group. Toby Martin from Harpenden, Tom Dennis from Harpenden, Ethan Howard from Potters Bar, Lucas Hardley from Hatfield, Joel Peterson from Hatfield, Igor Mortijar from Cheshunt, Archie Rand from Ware, and Ryan Wall from Royston. Coming into touch first, Georgia Pritchard, a time of 68.98. Second to touch there has not come up on the ball. We'll have to wait for the backup time to pick up on lane 5, and we'll see how the times come up. Reserves for the 10 and 11 years age group are William Fawcett and Kobe Cornwell. Be clear to poll, please. The 12-year-old age group finalists: Andrew Tember from Hatfield, Oliver Bright from Hatfield, Alexandra Claverbour from Berkhamsted, Daniel Hollis from St Albans, Cub Madison from Hatfield, Jason Ho from Hatfield, Jake Moore Potters Bar, William Buckley from Watford. Reserves: Jamie S. Muslev from Watford and Joseph O'Hara from Hatfield. The 13-year-old age group: Daniel Ord from Watford, Samuel Pyfinch from Tring, Eldrick Manella from Stevenage, James Gisborne from Bishop Stortford, Peter Sikoska from Hatfield, Enzo Lim from Watford, Oliver Carpenter Costa, and Charlie Taverner from Watford. Reserves: Luca Wilson from Harpenden and Leonardo Malagoli from Hertford. In the 14-year-old age group, Noah Cornwell from Potters Bar, Keaton Ratch from Watford, Yuto Watanabe from Hatfield, Benjamin Green from Watford, Thomas Ogden, Bishop Stortford, George Williams from Harpenden, Alvin Chan from Hatfield, and Patrick Kovar from Watford. Reserves: Max Robertson from Hatfield and Taylor Coe from Cheshunt. And 15 years old, Samuel Oakley from Potters Bar, Ewan Donald from Berkhamsted, Alfie Francis from Potters Bar, Lewis Shaler from Watford, Matthias Morse from Hemel Hempstead, Joshua Holland from Hertford, Josh Bridgeland from Hatfield, Alexander Horn from Costa. Reserves: Harry Arbuthnot and Thomas Jobson. And finally, the 16 and above, we've got Yannick Wilson from Harpenden, William Loverman from Costa, Charlie Rayner from Hatfield, David Shipman Potters Bar, Jack Christie St Albans, Ralph Munster St Albans, Cole James Hatfield, Brian Kelser Bishop Stortford, And the reserves, Joseph Richardson from Harpenden and Joseph Coldwell from Hemel. We need to know if you are not swimming by 2 minutes past or 3 minutes past. If you do not tell us you're not swimming, we will assume that you are swimming. Thank you. And this is heat 6 of the 100 meters freestyle. Heat 6, lane 1 is Jasmine Brackenbury from Hitchin. All 13 except for one 12-year-old who is in lane 8. Lane 2 is Sophie Chen from Hatfield. Lane 3 is Sophie Ledger from Hatfield. Lane 4, Anatonia Jubb, who's 13 from Hatfield. Lane 4. Lane 5 is Ruby Qureshi from Bushy. Lane 6, Sarah McGrath from Hatfield. 7, Sophia Pecci from Watford. And the 12-year-old is Molly Cobbold in lane 8 from Hoddesdon. Molly is turned second at 32.42. The leader at halfway, 32.24, is Ruby Qureshi from Bushy. She's entered at 69. Into the last 15 metres. And it's pretty close at the moment. In lane 5, we've got Ruby Qureshi and Molly Cobbold in lane 8. But Ruby is going to hang on to this, I think, as she comes through. Touches first, 66.95. Molly, 67.79. 69.63. Third touch there, Sarah McGrath. 500ths ahead of Sophie Ledger. Another notice of disqualification, event 216, heat 4. Lane 2, event 216, heat 4. Lane 2 disqualified for a technical infraction. And this is heat 7 of the 100 meters freestyle. Dana Shepherdson is in lane 1. She's 13 from Potters Bar. Lane 2 is Bella Parkus, who's 13 from Hoddesdon. Lane 3, Clara Livingston, 14 from Hatfield. And lane 4 is Megan Jones, who's 14 from Hitchin. Lane 5 is Isabel Geller, who's 13 from Tring. And 6 is Emily Penfold, who's 14 from Verulam. Lane 7 is Laura Stevens, who's 14 from Hatfield. And lane 8, Grace Jordan, who's 14 from Hatfield. 32.27, so under 33s. For the leader, Megan Jones, entered at 67. But now pushing on, you've got 4 or 5 swimmers in a row here. Lanes 1 to 5 are all in this at the moment. 6 is not far behind. It's all turning about 51 seconds. And everyone's in this. We've got 6 swimmers, all of whom could get the places here. Just starting to edge ahead here. Dana Shepherdson in 1 and Megan Jones, but also going very well. Bella Parkus in the middle of those as well. Look at that finish time there. A blanket finish there. 67.85 goes to Dana Shepherdson, touching first. 67.95 second to touch, Megan Jones. And 200s beside, 67.97, Bella Parkus in third. This is heat 8 of the 100 meters freestyle. Can Jason Hanbury please come poolside straight away, please? Jason Hanbury. What is it? Parent to Jason Hanbury, please. Can they come down, make themselves known to the lifeguard poolside, please? This is heat 8. Maggie Fleet is in lane 1, 14 from Watford. Lane 2 is Leora Gudgeon, who's 15 from Verulam. 3 is Madeline Stairs, who's 15 from Watford. 4, Millie Herbert, who's 14 from Hemel Hempstead. 5 is Amy Williams, 15 from Cheshunt. 6, Gemma Nottage, who's 13 years old from Watford. Lane 7 is Amelia Anderton, who's 14 from Hemel, and Bishop Stortford's Kia Phillips is in lane 8, and she's only 12, the youngest swimmer in this heat. 31.72. Maddie Stairs turns first at halfway. But if you look at the times there, everyone's in the 32s, so this is going to be extremely close. .49 seconds with 1 length to go. And just in the lead here, I think, possibly is Millie Herbert, but also going well is Amelia Anderton and Maddie Stairs. Let's see how they finish. 66.03 first to touch is Millie Herbert, 66.53. Second was Amelia Anderton, 66.76. Third to touch, Maddie Stairs. And this is heat 9 of the 100 metres freestyle. Lane 1 is Abby Larkman, 14 from Hoddesdon. Lane 2 is Isabella Yevesley, who's from Hatfield. Fastest entrant at 12 years old, and she's 66.5. Lane 3, Catherine Ryan, who's 14 from Hoddesdon. 4 is Ella Nijab, who's 13 from Berkhamsted. 5, Amelia Dunwoody, who's 13 from Costa. 6 is Anastasia Wilkinson, 13 from Hatfield. 7 is Dara Tearbold, who's 15 from Hitchin. Another 12-year-old, Isabella Merter, is in lane 8 from Hatfield. Just been asked to remind coaches, if you have any withdrawals who are not swimming in the finals, in the men's final, can you please come up now and let us know immediately? Can you let us know immediately, coaches, if you have a swimmer who is not swimming in the final, or we'll assume they are swimming? Into the last 10 metres. This is extremely close. Amelia in 5, Ella in 4, Catherine in 3. And that's the order. Amelia 64.44 takes that heat. 64.58 second to touch was Ella, and Catherine 64.82 touching in third. Heat 10 of the 100 metres freestyle. Lane 1 is Mia Borsma, who's 15 years old from Tring. 2 is Lucy Quire-Bell, who's 13 years old from St Albans. Lane 3, Eleanor Craig, who's 14 from Watford. And lane 4 is Jessica Preston, who's 15 from Bushy. Lane 5 is Eliza Connery, who's 15 from Potters Bar. And 6, Laura Hull, who's 13 years old from Bishop Stortford. Lane 7, Abigail Houston, who's 14 from Berkhamsted. And then Helen Stafford in lane 8 is 14 from St Albans. 30.86 first to turn, Mia Borsma from Tring in lane 1. Everyone else in between 31, high 31s, low 32s. But it is still Mia Borsma who is in the lead coming up to the final turn. She turns at 48 seconds. And looking very good. The battle's on to chasing her. 5 swimmers in a row across the pool. Lucy Quire-Bell just edging out into second place. Touching first, 64.82 for Mia Borsma. Into 66. 65.34 second place was for Lucy Quire-Bell. Third, 66.35 was Eleanor Craig. This is heat 11 of the 100 metres freestyle. Neve Kelly is in lane 1. She's 14 from Hatfield. Lane 2 is Caitlin O'Toole, who's 14 from Royston. Lane 3 is Livy Chambers, who's 15 from Verulam. Then we've got 4 hitchin swimmers in a row. Lane 4 is Lucy King, who's 15. 5, Zoe McDonald, who's 15. 6, Matilda Turner, who's 15. And 7 is Freya Harwood, who's 14. Lane 8 is Alice Richardson, who's 15 from Harpenden. So big hitching contingent, one of whom is leading the way, 31.25, Zoe McDonald. But if you look at the board, they're all very, very close. Starting to edge up a little bit, lane 2, Caitlin O'Toole from Royston. But I think it's still in the middle of the pool is where the race is. Caitlin O'Toole looks like she might be marginally ahead, 48 seconds with 1 length to go. But now pushing on very, very hard in lane 7 in this final length. Freya Harwood has come to the front, entered at 65. Touch is 64.19, 64.82 second to touch was Matilda Turner, and 64.97 third to touch Zoe McDonald. Heat 12 of the 100 meters freestyle. Fastest 13-year-old entered the event, Hatfield's Valeria Grion, who's in lane 1. She's entered 64.63, but a bit to do. Had some good swims so far from other 13-year-olds. Stevenage's Daisy Sandon is in 2, she's 15. Lane 3 is Amanda Peter, who's 15 from Costa. A row of 14-year-olds, 4 is Ashley Cooper from Hitchin, 5 Harriet Clements from Watford, 6 Bethan Fuger from Hatfield, and 7 is Ella Norton from Hatfield. Bishop's Dortford's Eleanor Mason is 15 in lane 8. 30.50. Getting it slightly quicker, just in the lead at halfway, Amanda Peaty from St Albans. But there's really very little in it as they come up to the final turn. And just in the lead now at the final turn, Daisy Sandon in lane 2. But moving up well in lane 4 now, the fastest entrant, Ashley Cooper from Hitchin. She's entered at just under 64. But Daisy Sandon is there with her, and so too is Valeria Gurion. And it's going to be close. How close was that? 64.21. Ashley Cooper gets it 100th ahead of 64.22 Valeria, and then 64.35 Daisy Sandon. Heat 13 of the 100 meters freestyle. Lane 1, Isabel Georgiou, who's 16 from Hatfield. Lane 2, Jessica Heesam, 15 years old from Potters Bar. Lane 3, Olivia Seal, 16 from Hatfield. And 4 is Annabelle Hunt, who's 18 from Bishop's Stortford. 5 is Lily Merritt, who is 15 from Hoddesdon. 6, Agnes Burns, who is 17 from Harpenden. 7 is Natasha Bentley, who's 16 from Hatfield. Lane 8 is Isabel Godfrey, who's 14 from Costa. Very close, 2 swimmers both turning on 30.2. Jessica Heesam in 2 and Annabelle Hunt in 4. And they're still holding their position. Also going well in lane 8, Sophie Payne. But still fractionally in the lead. In lane 2, Jessica Heesam, Annabelle Hunt in 4. I think Jessica Heesam's going to take this. It's going to be close behind her. Look how close it was. 63 flat, Jessica Heesam. 63.60 second to touch, Annabelle Hunt. And 63.73 was Olivia Seal. Heat 14 of the 100 meters freestyle. Ellie Hollis is in lane 1, 14 from Costa. Lane 2, Chloe Burker-Boating, who's 15 from Hatfield. Lane 3 is Tegan Wollaston, who's 14 from Cheshunt. 4, Brianna Maisie, who's 17 from Tring. Lane 5 is Sophie Burns, 18 from Watford. Her teammate in 6 is Francesca Pecci. who's 15. 14-year-old Jessica Keogh is in lane 7 from Hatfield, and her teammate Sophie Payne in lane 8 is 16. 29.17, under 30 seconds now. Brianna Maisie from Tring. She's looking at 62, so she could get pretty close to that if she keeps this going. Turning at 46 seconds, and this is looking tight. Big sprint finish coming down now, particularly lane 3, Tegan Wollaston trying to get back on terms there, but it's in lane 4, Brianna Maisie from Tring. And Tegan Wollaston getting really very close to her. Can Brianna hang on? She does. 62.12, 62.52 for Tegan, and then 62.90. Third to touch was Chloe Burko-Boateng. Can you clear the pool to the side, please, swimmers? Can you make your way to the side of the pool, please, swimmers? So just got the 3 re-spearheaded heats to come, final 3 heats where we mix up, they don't go in order of the fastest, they mix up the fastest and the next to fastest ones over the final 3 heats. The first of those is heat 15 of the 100 metres freestyle. Lane 1, Erin O'Mara, 15 from Watford. Lane 2 is Georgina Talon, who's 18 from Potters Bar. Lane 3 is Shona McKenna, 16 from Hemel. Lane 7 is Katie Conyers, who's 18 from Potters Bar. Lane 5 is Sarah Carroll, 16 from Bishop's Stortford. 6 is Beatrice Barden, 19 from Costa. 17-year-old Louise Fides is in lane 7 from Hatfield, and Hemel Hempstead's Georgia Perkins in lane 8 is 16. Fastest entrant turns first, 28.39. Katie Conyers, she's ended at 59.26. Got 3 swimmers in this heat who've all gone under 60. Also going well at the moment is Georgina Talon. Now she's ended at 61, so maybe she'll get a good time in lane 2. And also going well is the lanes 3 and 5. Shona McKenna in 3, and lane 5, Sarah Carroll, another sub 60-second swimmer. This is going to be a good time for the winner. 59.15, first to touch for Katie Conyers. 59.87 for Georgina Talon, under 60 seconds, well done. And 60.73 for Shona McKenna in third. Heat 16 of the 100 metres freestyle. Bianca Misakova is in lane 1. She's 15 from Hatfield. Lane 2, Sophie Quach, who's 20 from Hatfield. Lane 3, Josie Princess White, who's 17 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 4 is Elina Phillip, who's 18 from Bishop Stortford. Lane 5, Emily Lush, who's 16 from Potters Bar 7. Shannon Stott, 18 from Hatfield. Lane 8 is Millie Fields, who's only 14 years old from Bishop Stortford. Fastest 14-year-old at 61 seconds. And lane 8 is Gemma Hansen, who is 15 from Hatfield. 28.34, so getting it even quicker for Elina Phillip. And it is still Elina Phillip in the lead. But coming under pressure alongside her from Josie in lane 3. The teammate Josie is now just going past her. And Shannon Stott is getting close as well. 59.15, first to touch there. Shannon Stott actually getting the touch. 100th ahead of Josie. He obviously got longer fingernails. And 59.42, third to touch was Emily Lush. Heat 17, the final heat of the 100 metres freestyle. Heat 17, Nellie Easton is in lane 1, 16 from Bishop Stortford. 3 Hatfield swimmers in a row. Lane 2 is Sarah Kalawoska, who's 15. Lane 3 is Laura Copping, who's 18, and 4 Amy Godsave, who's 19. Fastest entrant in the event at 56.6. Lane 5 is Alice Fender, who's 17 from Hemel. 2 more Hatfield swimmers. Jessica Woodward in lane 6 is 15, and then lane 7 Billy Grant is 16, and Abigail Green in lane 8 is 18 from Watford. 27.74 from Amy, who don't think is going to be pushing hugely hard in this one. Got a final to come, turns at 43. She's a couple of seconds faster than any of the others on paper. Good battle behind her though, and it's being led at the moment by Jessica Woodward ahead of Alice Fender. Amy Godsave's winning time 58.94, and then look at that, 60.36 second to touch was Jessica Woodward, and 60.62 third to touch was Alice Fender. Clear the pool to side, please, swimmers. Clear the pool, please. So we've got finals to come. We'll give you the finalists for the girls 100 metres freestyle when I have them in a short period of time. I assume the finals will be starting around about past. So we can have the swimmers for the finals there just before past. That would be helpful to get them all ready to go. Can the boys for 100 metres breaststroke finals please make their way to the marshalling area just so we can check we've got everyone there. So the boys for the 100 breaststroke, if they can make their way to the marshalling area now, please.